Welcome to GamePlan. My name is Razak Musbao. It's another Friday, so much to talk about. And in the studio, Chutamaklo is here, Muftana Villa is here. Fencho Tahir Fencho will join us via Zoom, and we'll also be having Morris Kwanzaa on the show today. There's so much to talk about. Earlier you heard the Sports Minister, Kofi Idi Adams, saying to Otto Addo that despite being top of the table in Group I, despite securing 5 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss in the World Cup qualifying round so far, despite being 1 game away from qualifying to the World Cup, he's not impressed with the coach's performance so far. He says the coach himself has admitted that he can do better, and he takes responsibility for all the wrong decisions. And the sports minister quizzes, for how long shall we continue to say and hear from him that I take responsibility? For how long shall we continue to see these wrong decisions? The sports minister is not impressed. Are you impressed with Otto Addo, despite the team's performance and the team's standing in Group I so far? We'll be hearing from you very shortly. We'll open the phone lines and hear from you on this very matter. We've heard some of you make the call that maybe even if when Ghana qualify for the World Cup, Otto Addo should be made to step aside. Is this a legitimate call? Is this something we should do to Otto Addo? We should give him the chance to prove his mettle. This is GamePlan. Achu is here and Muftau is here. Hello guys, good afternoon.
Alaji Zak.
Wait, I think I'm not getting your sound. Can you speak again?
Alaji Zak. Alaji Zak.
You haven't taken me to Makkah. You can't call me Alaji.
That's the name I've given you.
You have yet to
So
take me. I've
accept
not
it.
been to Saudi. Or
What is the
anything.
meaning of Alaji?
Means stranger.
Alaji means stranger.
Yeah.
Yes. Alaji, Haji, they mean stranger.
So when you go to Saudi Arabia and you arrive there, they call you Alaji.
Because they don't know you. You're a stranger that's in
Oh,
there now.
okay.
So when you return from, you say, yeah, that's the name they call them there. So they,
But why is it that even here,
yeah.
when our Muslim brothers come, they use the name in a manner
They started to give themselves title.
like it's a title?
Yeah, I mean, in the context of Ghana, it's symbolic of the fact that the person has gone there, along with the other things that.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not
not
a
just
title.
in Ghana, in
Yeah.
West Africa. actually.
West Africa,
Yes,
yeah.
South Africa.
Because look, think of any prominent Muslim politician: Alaji Boniface, Abubakar Sadiq, Alaji this, Alaji that.
Because, I mean, in this part of maybe.
So the name actually means a stranger.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of Muftao? Do you know the meaning of Muftao?
No,
It means key.
no. Those
Actually,
ones.
have you got my muftar with you?
That was a good one. Look, those ones I can understand because you can name people after even events,
Yeah.
after occasions, right? After experiences,
Yeah.
after maybe landmarks, that kind of thing. You can name people after that. I mean, even there are people who are even named after bad events. I say
Yeah.
it's not a great name.
But this is a title. It's just a title.
Yeah, but I'm saying
No,
that
he's saying that in
the
reference
way-
to what I said.
the way
That's the
people-
meaning of my name.
like
Okay,
the
okay.
way people can adopt a description and use it as a title, not a name,
Yeah.
is what like this is very enlightening to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Like this is very enlightening.
Because I always
to me.
wondered why.
And even the point actually is even that. Okay, so for those who often use it as a title for themselves, is the fact that it's not about you just traveling to Mecca. When you go to Mecca, there's a specific pilgrimage you have to go and perform. That's where you have to go for what they call the Umrah. So when you go to the Umrah to perform, you go to the Hajj. So mostly those of the people, those who go there, they say, we've come to Hajj, and then they say Alaji, Haji. It simply means a stranger. That's the meaning.
Yeah.
In fact, Musbao means light, or which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like titles too much.
Musbao means light. Light. This light.
So you can understand what I am in your life, actually.
Yeah.
But the meaning of my name, which is Muftao,
Yeah.
is a key to heaven's gate.
No.
Muftao Janda.
All right.
Yes. So it is. In fact, it's not Muftao. It is Miftao. Miftao Al Jannah.
So you did the spelling mistake. You did this.
And you have also joined us in anglicizing your Muslim or Arabic
It is
name.
Miftau Al Jannah, which simply means that the key to heaven's gate.
Now
Yeah.
you decided to remove the Aljana and do Nabila.
And you have joined all of us in mispronouncing your name.
Yeah.
If I've joined you and you joined, that's the point.
Anyway, let me so welcome Mr. Morris Kwanzaa. Welcome, sir. Really,
Thank you. Good to be on set with
really privileged to have you.
Miftau and my brother Achu. Nice meeting you.
We are very
Nice
privileged to
having
have you.
you.
Very, very
Morris.
privileged to have you today. Well, we're going to start with the comment by the sports minister. It was the first time probably he spoke after the team's performance against Mali on Monday. It was a relatively good performance. I mean, we needed the win. We needed to get 3 points and be in a good position as far as the World Cup qualifiers are concerned. Much more so after the performance against Chad. So Monday's win was very important. But the comment by the minister has ruffled some feathers, and people are beginning to wonder if maybe the minister is considering relieving Otto Addo of the job when we qualify for the World Cup. That maybe going into the World Cup, Ghana might go there with a different coach. But then I ask, what realistically is the target for the Blackstars going to the World Cup? For which reason we say we want another coach who can do some wonders. You want the Blackstars to win the World Cup or etc. But anyway, let me bring the guest in and let's hear from them, spanning from Blackstars' performance in the World Cup qualifiers and even Otto Addo himself. Let me start with Mr. Morris Kwanzaa because he just joined us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Good afternoon. I think it was a good performance against Mali. Unless you want me to stretch it, look at what happened in the previous match against Chad. The previous match against Chad, I thought were a bit lackadaisical. I think they thought it was. I don't know. I from where I was watching from said that it was going to be a walk in the park. Of course, the Chadians were the whipping boys in the group. They took a lead. Needed to consolidate the lead, but somehow, especially in the second half, I thought they had taken their foot off the accelerator, and then they were punished. A late equalizer, a deflection, but this is what happens. And for the Chadians, they had nothing to lose. They were playing for pride, and it's very difficult when you're playing with somebody who's down, and as we say, he that is down fears no fall. And it was a moment of pride for the one who scored against Ghana, and then they had not picked up
Celestine Ikua.
Yes, they had not picked up a point, so it was as good as a win for them. Yes, and you could see how the stadium erupted, and that should tell you that you may say there are minnows in the game, but on the field of play, if you don't take your chances, if you don't keep your guard up like boxers do when they're fighting, you could get punished. And we've seen it in the latter stages of the World Cup qualifiers in South America and in Europe, that now teams go in well prepared, well psyched up. So even against the big boys, if you drop your guard, you could get punished. But we got a point. It was a rude awakening for us, and then we entered the match against Mali. Before we played against Mali, Madagascar had won.
Had won their game.
They had won their game.
Against
So
Central African Republic.
Central African, so we're a par on points, but with the game in hand. So we needed to win. And for the Malians, because of their win in the previous match, they had a mathematical chance of going through, but it was contingent on winning against Ghana. So they came in, it was win or nothing for them. So I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be tough because, in my little years in sports journalism,
He said what?
He called it little. I was going to ask.
He said what?
I've watched Ghana play Mali.
He tried to sneak that in. I've been working on a story for the past few months. Doing the research work, and every time I go to the graphic archives, majority of the articles there associated to the storylines are, the byline is Maurice Kwanzaa, graphic sports.
And it's a little time.
From 20 years ago. 25 years
And
ago.
it's been a little time.
Anyway, but at various levels, under 17, under 20, the senior team,
Yeah.
we've had it difficult against the Malians. I mean, we've been beating them on most occasions, but you could stretch it back. Even the archives when we're young and we're reading, they are skillful as we are. The Malians, I mean, at least they had their first Africa Footballer of the Year, Keita, and we've seen generation of superstars emerging through. They have great academy system, many of them getting developed in France. So Mali has always been a tough side. So I expected them to come and play a high performance game. They knew that they needed to win, so I knew it was going to be tough looking at Ghana, Mali. But I believe we also played a more cautious game because if you look back at our matches in the last year or two, we have a statistician in Achu, so you can confirm we've been conceding a lot of late goals.
Yeah.
So it was important.
After 80 minutes.
Yes, especially after 80 minutes. So it was important
But
that
6 of the 7 we've considered have come in the
Yes.
second half of the game.
yes. So it
And
was
3 have come after the 80th minute.
Yes. So it was important that even after we took that lead, a free goal, whatever you want to score, we needed to deploy tactics that would neutralize the Malians, because if you open up, those young guys could punish you. And I think Otto had his game plan quite right, and this is game plan too. So
Yeah.
he had his game plan quite right. The players themselves, they knew that they needed to step it up if they needed to. They really wanted to get to the World Cup. In the final few minutes when he started making those substitutions, I got a bit jittery. But at the end of the day, we needed to do what was necessary to win. We won, we got the 3 points, but now we have 2 more matches and we need to.
I mean, there are those who
concentrate.
raise concerns about his approach and the tactics he deployed on the day. Is it your opinion that, as far as the game against Mali was concerned, the emphasis should not so much be on the tactics but the result? We needed to win. So
In football, results, I mean, of what benefit if you just go entertain the crowd and then you get a lion's share of possession and then you drop your guard, you draw, or you lose.
Yeah.
And for us, we had reached a point where the most important thing was to get the results. The results first, and any other thing comes next. So we got the draw. We protected the lead until the final. And when you look at how he approached how he packed the midfield, we didn't have Elisha Owusu. There was uncertainty about the fitness of Thomas Partey. So he brought in Kwesi Sibo. I'm sure you two, somebody we thought, well, when he gets the opportunity, I know him on a personal, so in fact, I hardly do that, but on Saturday, I was at the camp. I saw him, just exchange greetings because we've been talking on the phone. I told him, look, it was an opportunity to step it up and then seize the moment. You may never know. I mean, you come in at the 11th hour, but you could get crashed the World Cup party, but it's up to you to step it up. But I think Otto knew what he wanted. That's why when there was uncertainty over the fitness of Thomas, the Elisha was unavailable. We have so many players. He went for So he went for Sibo, who brought some power. He was a bit confident when you look at, and then he brought some stability, which allowed Thomas to move forward. Because else Thomas would have been withdrawn into more defensive, which would deny us those telling passes. And I mean, Thomas is a very creative and a very technical player. So I think in that situation we had, and for the first time, sometimes I get a bit jittery when I'm watching our brother at AS Monaco,
Mohamed
Salisu, very talented, but sometimes he gets his timing wrong. But
I think it's a matter of confidence.
Well, I don't know if it's overconfidence sometimes.
Southampton, I think he was more sure of himself
Yes, and
than
then
his days at Monaco.
But even in the national team, sometimes he loses focus. Not just him, but focus was key. And I think in that particular match, he stepped it up.
Yeah.
He stepped it up, and then Ajeti was solid. There were a few moments but of course he's improving. But the defenders were also alert. The goalkeeper was also alert because the Malian forwards were restricted a bit, so they had to try those long shots. And each time Benjamin Asari was alert, and then he did. Somebody told me he was doing the lost work, But I think they did what was necessary to win the game.
Well, this is Game Plan. You can join the conversation on 055 11 997. That's the WhatsApp line. Do send your comments in. Game Plan is brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, and Betway. You get way more. Well, we were just talking about Kwesi and his impact on the game. It was his first game. Otto Addo took the risk, put him in there, and he proved to be a really good resource for the team. And Otto Addo had some glowing tribute for him after the game. Just briefly listen to him.
I think he really did well. It's not easy to come from said it before, from a different environment to fit in the squad. But he knows a lot of players already in the team, and he connected well. He's very, very self-confident, and I think he did really extremely well, especially when you see that this was his first performance. And he's a warrior throughout. You could see. I think for the future things will even get better. But like all players, his performance in this club will decide for his next caller, but the next window is so close that I'm pretty sure that he will be called again after this performance.
Yeah, well, he's pretty confident that he will be called again when the team returns next month. Let's see how it works out for the Blackstars come next month. But for Petrosol Platinum Energy, they are welcoming all of you to the month of September, and they're asking you if you're ready for the excitement and if you're ready for the dreams we fuel together. Then for 10 incredible years that they've been with you, do you remember all of these excitements that we've had with you for the past 10 years? That's Petrosol Platinum Energy celebrating with you in the Energizing Dreams promo. We poured joy into your journeys, rewarded your loyalty, and shared in your aspirations. But as the sun rises on a new day, so too does a new chapter for Petrosol Platinum Energy. And while the anniversary celebrations have concluded, our promise remains unwavering to be your trusted partner on every road in every endeavor. Well, Petrosol Platinum Energy, triple ISO certified, multiple award winning with over 100 stations nationwide. We continue to deliver the quality fuels and lubricants you depend on. We remain committed to energizing your dreams, fueling your progress, and powering Ghana's growth. Our tagline says it all: Petrosol, energizing dreams, because it's not just a slogan, it's our enduring commitment to you. Visit any of our over 100 stations across Ghana. Experience the Petrosol difference. Quality you can trust, service you can rely on. Petrosol Platinum Energy, still energizing your dreams today and always. Kofi Adams, we heard from him, the sports minister. Very strong comment about Otto Addo's performance in charge of the Black Stars. Achu, the feedback has been that Otto Addo, what's his name, the sports minister, maybe should just, take it easy with some of his outbursts, some of these comments. Just, take it easy. The team has got 2 more games and they qualify for the World Cup. Let's qualify. Let's qualify. Let's stay united. That's the word they use. Let's stay united and qualify. Let's support the team. It says these pockets of critiques is not helpful for the team, especially knowing that they have not yet qualified for the World Cup.
I don't think there was any aspect of the minister's speech that was corrosive. No, I don't think there was any aspect of that. He said he had not been impressed, and to be honest, this is not the first time. In his very first media engagement after being appointed, he was asked about the Black Stars coach, and he said he was not in favor of keeping the coach after the team failed to qualify for the AFCON. And at that time, I don't think anyone could have disagreed with the verdict that a coach who did not qualify the team for the AFCON should have been retained. More to the point, he did not speak in an intemperate manner or in a manner that throws the spanner in the works for Otto Addo. He said there is still work to be done. If there was any point where he was critical, it was about the style, where he said, we sit on tenterhooks often. And he highlighted Monday's game as an example.
But don't you think Otto Addo will be listening to this and be getting the sense that maybe he doesn't have the full support of the minister?
Not necessarily. So yesterday I had an engagement with some people in his circle, and it looks like the minister's comments was very well received, and that Otto understood the context within which the minister spoke and exactly what the minister meant. So I think on that side, unless of course there has been any or there will be any later developments as we speak now, there has not been any misunderstanding or misappreciation of what the minister said. However, I think the minister is right. If you look at Otto Addo has been in charge for 19 months, a year and 7 months. Yeah. In that time, he has superintended over 2 qualifying campaigns: the World Cup qualifying and the AFCON qualifying. Cumulatively, he's managed 16 games. He's won 6, he's lost 5, he's drawn 5. His win percentage is 37.3.
It has increased. Okay.
I mean, the numbers you're mentioning, he says...
His win percentage is 37.3.
Yeah.
In the AFCON qualifying series, he should have been sacked after the AFCON qualifier. After he failed to... In fact, after the first 3 games, he should have moved on. But we showed grace and retained him. Ghana played 6 games in the AFCON qualifiers. We lost to every opponent. We didn't win any. So we played Niger beat us. We played Angola beat us. We played Sudan beat us.
And when you say that, put it in context.
In the 6
a
games,
war-torn Sudan that did not play a match against in front of its own supporters.
By the time the qualifying, in fact, we started the qualifiers by breaking our home invisibility at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium when we lost to Angola. And then we ended the qualifiers by breaking our home invincibility at the Accra Sports Stadium when we lost to Niger. Niger, Angola, Sudan. Sudan didn't play a single game at home. Sudan trained for all of their games in Saudi Arabia, and then they will come and play their games in Libya. Yet they beat us. The performances were not great. The results were horrible. Yet, in that period, Otto seemed to blame everyone and everything else but himself. He didn't accept responsibility. When we lost to Angola, Otto Addo said the pitch was not good enough. Then we went away. The very next game, I think 3 days later, was in Morocco. Bekani, lush green pitch. We couldn't beat Niger. So the issue or the excuse of pitch had been rubbished. Then the next game was against Sudan. Otto Addo said Sudan were very lucky and they would not be lucky again after we drew them here at the Accra Sports Stadium. We went to Libya. They beat us. The Sudan that we were told were very lucky and were not going to be fortunate.
Yeah.
Sudan beat us. Then on October 15th, a day after Sudan beat us.
You add it all.
Yeah, I remember the dates. This is easier for me to recall because there's this week's column of hindsight on my Joe Online.
I've read it, so you're just going through
yes.
the article.
So those who missed it, this one is free for you. Then the very next day, Otto Addo was asked, I think it was Lawrence Beidu who asked that question, that Ghanaians are used to being competitive in the qualifiers and qualifying for the AFCON regularly. So this seems very strange. Otto's response was to say that the teams that qualify for AFCON at a canter cannot be compared to this one because if you look at the players from that group, and he was referring to Ghana's first team to have qualified for the World Cup. So he mentioned all of the big clubs in the world that those players played for. So the Real Madrid's, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Chelsea, and the likes. But I thought that was very disingenuous because the context of the question was the team's standard of qualifying for the AFCON as a minimum requirement. So when you throw in the obvious rhetoric of the fact that we've had better players in the past, you are being disingenuous. But that was Otto Addo. In fact, the theme of excuses continued just last Sunday. Otto Addo said, and to quote him, he said the expectations Ghanaians have of him are problematic. And he was speaking in relation to the expectations ahead of the Chad game. And he said the expectations Ghanaians had that was amplified by the journalists got into the head of the players. And when such things happen, it can be difficult for him. And my question is, if Ghanaians cannot expect to beat 176th ranked Chad, then we might as well stop playing competitive football. Let's do recreational football now. Yeah? So that we know that for teams who are not even competitive, we can go in there and not expect to win. So that aspect of not accepting responsibility and the manner in which he communicates these things is a problem. Because at this level, being a good communicator, being especially for a national team, because the national team is the soul of the nation. It is, everyone is connected to that team. So when something doesn't go wrong, you cannot afford to misfire in your explanation to the people. First of all, you have to accept responsibility. And we saw the manner in which Otto had to even apologize for not making the AFCON. Like, we literally had to go to war with him.
Yeah.
We remember the shameful circumstances at the. I say shameful because a lot of us did not conduct ourselves very well, especially the journalists. But it was a situation where the manner in which Otto would address the media, the posture, how condescending he often was. No. How he often was. It pushed people to the point where that was how they would respond to you. But the one saving grace for Otto Addo, if he has any, is the World Cup qualifiers. You know, he across the first and second stints, he's not lost a World Cup qualifier. First stints, 2 games against Nigeria, he drew both, secured qualification on the away goals rule. Since he returned, first 2 games, he won both, away in Bamako and then against the Central African Republic in Kumasi.
Yeah.
And when the World Cup qualifiers resumed in March, he won 2 games. Now he's won 4 points out of 6. However, even with the World Cup qualifiers in this second instance that he is unbeaten, he's won 3 games out of 4. Yeah, so that's like 75% win rates in the World Cup qualifiers in this 4-year spell. In this 4-game spell, this is the most consistent the Blackstars have been since Otto Addo returned. Yet, if you put it all together, it is still not enough to erode the damage that was done to the extent that his win percentage is only 37.3.
But are you
from
not
the
seeing,
16 games that he has
are you not
managed?
seeing an improvement as the time unfolds, like you mentioned?
No.
Because post the AFCON qualifiers, you know, the AFCON qualifier, which was obviously very terrible. Post the AFCON qualifiers, the games that have come after that, have you not seen an improvement?
Post the AFCON qualifiers, we've played 6 games. Yeah. As for the Unity Cup, probably non-scoring games. But what we have seen have been the 4 games in the World Cup qualifiers.
And based on the results.
So I'm saying that if a manager has coached a team for a year and 7 months, a 19-month period, 16 games in that time, and 10 of those games, the results are bad.
So is it Otto 1, Otto 2?
No, Otto 2. Otto 2. 10 of the results are bad. The 4 games cannot be a saving grace.
Let me bring Mufti in.
The-
Let me just mention that.
just to conclude.
Just conclude. Let me
Yeah.
just mention that Felix has also joined us now. And
Yeah.
he's the one you've been hearing, Otto 1, Otto 2.
Or Otto 2.0. What I have found problematic is the lack of consistency and the lack of identity this team has got. Look, the excuse that national teams, the turnaround time is too short and that you don't really have enough time to get your ideas across, nobody should accept it. It is not peculiar to Ghana. It is the same conditions that every African country have to work with. Nigeria don't have extra days. South Africa don't have extra days. In fact, the best teams on the continent, the bulk of their squad come from the leagues where our players come from. So Morocco, so Egypt, so Nigeria, so Cameroon, so Senegal, so the Blackstars of Ghana. Every single one of this category A teams, the best of your players come from outside. So the same challenges that we have, they face it. So over the 90-month period, by now we should have seen a settled team. Yeah, I'm not saying win 85% or 90% of your games, which would not even be an outlandish expectation given, look at the teams that have been beating us. Look at the teams we have been facing. In the AFCON qualifiers, it was Sudan, Niger, Angola. World Cup qualifiers, it is Madagascar, it is Chad, it is Mali. So for me, over the period, the fact that Otto has not been able to build a team that is known for, say, defensive football or attacking football is a problem.
Okay, Mufti, just come in.
I would want one of my guys to add something that I wanted to say. The fact that he fumbled the management of the captaincy.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question also. Whether that has also.
I just on top of my head, Otto Addo 2.
Otto 2.
Otto 2. In fact, the full name is Otto Nana Addo. So let me just add another name.
Today we are revealing some names.
No wonder.
It's okay. Enough. First game, Nigeria, final match in Morocco. Second game, Uganda. What is Vetio doing there? See the way he's yawning. That's like, if you're tired, go and sleep. After that, we played World Cup qualifiers against Mali, against Central African Republic. He won these two matches. That was where some people within the FA came to tell us that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Then the AFCON qualifiers came in. 6 matches, 0 win. That's what I was telling at you. He should have put those results in context. A war-torn Sudan that did not have an opportunity of playing a single match at home. Niger that did not have an opportunity of playing a single match at home. These two countries still managed to secure victories against Ghana, right? Angola, you lost and drew against them. In fact, that's what I said, 6 matches, he didn't pick a win across these 6 matches. Then we come to the World Cup qualifiers again. He secured victories against Chad and Madagascar before we went to UK for the Unity Cup, where he lost to Nigeria and won against Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, just pay attention to the countries I am talking about here. Assuming the Blackstars of Ghana actually wants to be considered one of those topmost countries, you are struggling against the likes of Trinidad and not Trinidad and Tobago, Sudan, Niger, Chad. He said what? They are ranked 176th in the world. Football is a bit funny. You cannot say that because of these results, maybe when you meet Spain, Argentina and go at the World Cup, they will teach you a very good lesson. You may just go there on your day, you find results. However, the consistency of the results plays a critical role in how your team is going to perform. It's a psychological thing. You cannot tell me that The Blackstars struggling against Chad, struggling against Madagascar, struggling against Central African Republic, struggling against Sudan, Niger, and co. It does not have a toll on the players. They will begin to question themselves, and their very own confidence will be dampened. Because the more you win matches, the more you are very confident. In fact, even in the 90th minute, if you concede, you know that you can still come back and win the game because you have that winning mentality. But if you struggle against these kinds of countries, with all due respect to these countries, if I were the sports minister too, I would actually be very disappointed. And the sports minister has got every single right to be disappointed. Otto did not help himself much, as you mentioned, with the way he handled some of the things within the dressing room.
And just before you get into the dressing room, I'm just thinking here. So, I mean, you're looking at the performance against Chad, for instance. And if you look at the game in its entirety, we could have won that game by 3-0 or 4-0 if and only if some of the individual players had turned up on the day. If Antoine Semenyo had converted the chance. And people, the ordinary person would go like, so for the 3 chances that Antoine Semenyo... Let me just bring this
Football
context
is not played with if.
Yes, I understand. But it comes down to the point about responsibility. Yes, the coach bears the ultimate responsibility. But what responsibility should the players also bear? Because, yes, it's easy to say Otto Addo.
Okay.
He mapped out the strategy. They created the chances. The players he fielded, whom we all trust are good players, top quality players, are getting the chances and failing to convert.
Okay. Musbao, Otto Addo is paid to make decisions. Decisions that inure to the benefit of this country. You assemble about 26 players. You select 11 to go on the field. If a few show on the pitch and they put up such lethargic performances just as we saw against Chad, what would you do as a coach? The man who is seated on the bench. He gave a very nice excuse about how the pitch slowed the game.
So it was too dry.
It was too dry. Christopher Bonsuba and Kamal Din Suleimana, when they came, the pitch all of a sudden became very quick and they were able to have a go at their opponents. If the other players you had on the pitch had issues, what about the players you had on the bench? If someone on the pitch was doing something, the person was walking on the field, and you sat down there as a coach who is being paid humongous amounts of money every single month to take decisions that benefits the team, and you allow the person to have a free day and be walking about on the pitch, why would you think that I should go after that player and leave the person who put the person in there? You are seated behind this microphone right now. You think if anything happens, Fifi will call you directly. There's someone Fifi will call. That is why Otto, the buck always stops with the boss. Otto is taking a chunk of the responsibility because he is supposed to select the players who can get the job done. If the job is not done, then what is his business? Leading the technical direction of the senior national team. That's why he's called a technical man. He's our technical brain.
But we've done that over the years, haven't you?
You've done that over the years and the results are not coming. And that is why even, in fact, when Achu was saying what is his future, I'm like, I don't know what is going to happen to his future. Because the people who have appointed him actually believe that he can do 5 years as head coach of the national team. Unless, of course, something has changed. That's why when the team failed to qualify for the AFCON, they were in the market in search of a very experienced assistant coach to come and be on the bench with him. They didn't get that. They let go Joseph Lawman. They were looking for an experienced assistant coach. They didn't get that. They had to go for Desmond Ofe. Because Desmond was literally one of the key brains behind the DNA the Ghana Football Association developed. The FA trusts him. They have so much confidence in what Desmond can do. That's why the FA says that, okay, Desmond, you come in. But they were in there looking for an experienced man. If they wanted to fire Otto Addo, they would have fired him. One of the things, or one of the reasoning behind even the search for that experienced man was the fact that if they get to a point where they were so disappointed in Otto and they wanted to let him go, that experienced man could step in. The decision to go and bring Winfried Schaefer is actually influenced by what the FA were thinking. The decision to go and bring a psychologist, in fact, they went and sat in one house, it was a 3-man meeting.
How do you know the house they went to?
Okay, let's talk about the stories.
No.
They went and sat in one house. It was a 3-man meeting. It was at that meeting they actually agreed that indeed they need a psychologist for this team. That's how they brought in a psychologist into the team. So the people at the Ghana Football Association at this point, in fact, there were conversations about how Otto failed to meet one of the KPIs, right, that they had given to him, qualifiers for the AFCON. He couldn't. When they went for their meetings and they were having the back and forth, some said they should let him go. Others went like, no, we can't let Otto go because the previous sacking of coaches have cost the FA so much. In fact, as I mentioned, this group of FA officials actually believe Otto can be the coach for 5 years. As to whether the minister would be happy or he will still be disappointed, he can go to the negotiation table with the Ghana Football Association, because you cannot take a unilateral decision and go like, oh, you no longer want Otto. You pay him, but the contract is with the Ghana Football Association. If he decides to go to FIFA right now, FIFA will write to the GFA. That's why 1 million went. The FA had to pay that money. The FA paid over $100,000 for the decision to sack.
Not to cut you. See, the people at the FA, they know what they are doing. They could have waited for the minister to be vetted and appointed before renewing Otto's deal. They could have, right? But they didn't.
No, but Otto came in way before the elections.
I mean,
After
after
no,
the
they were
AFCON.
saying after the AFCON.
AFCON failure.
Yeah, before
They could have-
deciding to go
before-
forward,
go forward.
if not necessarily renew, because
Yes.
they didn't renew it.
No,
They
they
understand. They should have waited, because the one paying you should have a say in who you get to appoint.
Yeah.
And you see, me, I don't want Otto Addo as coach. I want him gone. No matter what happens, he shouldn't lead us to the World Cup. I've had enough blame on Otto, but we should also start questioning the people making the appointment, because if you look at the Kurt-led administration, all the coaches that they've appointed haven't been good. None of them have even gotten to 50% win rate. Siki Akuno did 40, 4 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. Milovan, right?
Yeah.
He came in, he did 37% win rate, 3 wins. We went to AFCON.
disaster.
Chris Hughton wasn't their appointment, so they didn't like him. They said a lot of things about Chris Hughton. People around the FA, Randy Abbey said his own team manager at the time,
Yeah.
Aminu Shadow, said same. But the same people now are all praising Otto Addo, except Ghanaians. And the minister, even the minister last week said, Nkoye.
Yeah.
No,
You
so the
understand?
thing is that, okay, so let me just go back to the 3-man
Finish your
meeting.
point, but
Let me just go to the
blame
3-man
should go
meeting.
to them.
There was this conversation about the appointment of coaches and the consistency when it comes to the change of the coaches. They said they cannot be blamed alone because they did not hire CK. CK was Asiama's coach, not the GFA. So government should also take a part of the blame, right? They hired Milo. They did not sack Milo. Government sacked Milo. So they cannot be blamed for the sacking. They cannot be blamed for the sacking of Milo, right? They hired Otto. Otto said he was not going to stay, and there was nothing they could do about it. So the guy had to go. They did not hire Chris. He was a government's choice. In fact, they used the word Prime Minister's choice. They said Prime Minister appointed Otto.
Do we have a prime minister in Ghana?
I don't know whether we have a prime minister or we don't have a prime minister. That's the point. Now, when he failed, they had to let him go. Now, they've gone to bring their own coach. And in fact, this one is not even a secret. Everyone knows this. Otto was not part of the over like 100.
He was offered the job.
100 coaches that applied. When they pruned the list down to 14 coaches and they were interviewing they said some of the people they were interviewing, some of them were like 70, 80 years, and they thought they needed a young man to lead the team. But you pruned the list to 40. So if you pruned the list to 40 and you included 70 years, 80 years people, how is that our fault? You pruned down the list, right? Now, someone comes to tell you that Otto is interested in the job. And they say, okay, if Otto is interested in the job, then let's give the job to Otto. In fact, one of the things I can say is the fact that even some management committee members were actually disappointed to hear from the media that Otto was coming back. Some of the executive committee members. Because they were like, how is this possible?
We didn't interview the guy.
How is Otto coming back? And I remember there was one meeting where there was a direct question following an attack. The claims were that, they went to the meeting and some executive committee or council members were being accused of leaking information to the media. And one of them said, okay, we have seen stories in the media that claim that we are going to give Otto 3 years contract and $50,000 monthly salary. If you come to this meeting and you are accusing us of leaking information to the media when we have not even been invited to take a decision on Otto, are you suggesting that the reports in the media are true? That question was not answered. As to what
So I mean, just moving on, and so that I can just come to Felix and go back to Morris. We want to connect with Fentio just to get some updates on the World Athletics Championship so that we can move on. But do you think, based on how the team has fared so far, one more game against Central African Republic and Comoros last game in October, do you think, based on how the team has fared so far, sorry, you just land with that, Otto Addo should
he stay or he should go?
Should still lead the team to the World Cup?
Well,
when we finally qualify?
Based on what I know, even if I want Otto to go, he won't go.
What do you want?
Because Morris knows this better. The point is that Otto is not going anywhere.
What do you want?
From where I sit, I've always gone for longevity. But Otto has not shown signs of the GFA giving him the opportunity to go through that 3 years and get a renewal for 2 more years to make it 5. He has not shown those signs.
I'll come to Felix briefly. Fent is on his way. Let me just get him, and then we can just come back to this. Fent, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great. Let's get. You've got some update for us on the World Athletics Championship, or that's why we put you on.
I have opinions on Otto Addo too. Very, 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 very important. Very good afternoon to Senior Morris. Good to see you. I think I would just be brief on Otto Addo. I think Otto needs to go. Look, I don't understand Muftau's perspective here, being very dodgy, not trying to commit himself. You mean why you want the guy to go? The reason Otto should leave the job is that I don't think that Otto has built anything in the period he's been in charge to give me any impression that there is any sort of sustained success on the way. The reason Otto Addo got the job was because we were under the impression that we have a very, that we had a very young group of players who have shown enormous quality and needed somebody that would be able to come in and let them gel and give them a platform to grow. They said that they said we didn't need old managers, and that some of the coaches there were old, and we needed a young coach that understood the modern way of playing, that understood our young players and what have you. All of these things were the reasons we were told Otto Addo was perfect for this group of players. Now you ask yourself, since Otto Addo took charge of this team, What sort of performance have you seen in what game to give you the impression that there is a certain system that Otto is building? Because trust me, the modern game has changed. You look at all of the teams from the last few years that have been successful. We are talking Spain's Euro team. You're talking Senegal, Algeria, Morocco at the World Cup. All of these teams, even England, with all their recent runs to the various finals, these teams have been built on a certain system of play. That those accidental victories that we keep securing and stumbling on in these qualifiers are not necessarily recipe for long-term success. And I think that that's what we need. We need to start to build, because trust me, that's how Senegal became successful. And we watched on for Senegal to become African champions for the first time in their history. We watched on for Cote d'Ivoire to come in and win a third AFCON or a second AFCON title. And we were just there. What are we doing? That's the point. We've given Otto enough room to operate. He's got enough freedom. Otto is the only manager that has come to Ghana and has been able to tell all of us that we don't know what we are doing. Only he knows what he's doing, because he's dealing with Jürgen Klopp. He's dealing with Edin Terzic. The rest of us, who do we know? Who are we talking about? Who do we deal with? He says that the condescension with which he speaks at press conferences, it gives me the impression that Otto Addo should be getting results like Jürgen Klopp. You understand? Because he says he worked with Jürgen Klopp. None of you has worked with Jürgen Klopp. It's true. None of us has worked with Jürgen Klopp, but Klopp is a premier. He says he takes advice from Klopp. I don't think the football we play is the sort of advice Klopp has been giving him. Then if that's the case, then Klopp has been giving him bad advice. You understand me? But I didn't say it. Otto went to a press conference and said that those are the managers he listens to, not the rest of us. So you cannot have the effrontery to speak like this and give us the sort of football that we are getting.
Well,
and let me address one thing.
Just maybe he's been getting good advice, but the personnel he's got are not able to execute the advice he's offering them.
Okay, on that point, let's go through the personnel. You, Musbao, do you really think that the group of Blackstars players we have are not talented enough?
I think your line is off.
My line is not off. I can hear you. I asked you a question. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You can go on. Go on.
I asked you. I said, do you genuinely think that on the African continent, there are many, how many countries would you genuinely say have much more talented players than the Ghana Black Stars?
I mean, maybe in his view, maybe they are not good enough to execute his project.
That's what I'm asking you. So I'm asking you a question. I'm asking.
We've got decent players, to be fair. We've got decent players. We've got decent players.
How many countries would you put above Ghana in terms of actual talent on the African continent?
I mean, to be fair, we've got decent players who should ordinarily do better than what.
Do you think the players we have are proportionate to the style of football that we play?
I mean, not exactly. If you consider how they fare.
Do you think that the crop of players we have are crop of players that should not be able to win a single AFCON qualifying match?
Well, Otto says they've done better since then.
They've done better since then. You see, okay, since then, the last two matches, one of them was against Mali. You saw the performance. They won all right. Before that, you saw the game against Chad. Which of them was better? Look, let me be honest with you. This is my thinking. I'm not saying that it's not important to win games. It's important to win games. But there is a way to win that gives you hope for the future. Look, the whole country, the concentration and the conversation after that game against Mali has not even focused too much on the win. Do you know why? Because the performances were not great. And in fact, the last two matches, the performances have not been great. And performances are important. That's why a lot of people, after every match, we focus a lot on the way the team plays. Because the way in fact, there are instances to tell you, even after a team loses the game, performance gives you a certain hope for the future. I don't think, look, my feeling is that every single game I've seen Otto Addo play, I have not been convinced by the team's performance. And the conviction I need is that he's building something special. If I ask you right now, what is Otto Addo's team built on? What are they trying to achieve? Like, what is the long-term strategy of Otto Addo's team? I don't see it. I don't see it. This sort of football where you score one goal and pack the bus, that's not a winning system. No
But
team has
Fence,
won
yeah.
anything in the last 10, 20 years playing like that.
I mean, Fen, you want him to go, but
You
realistically
understand?
though, he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, if you want to look at the position of the FA, it doesn't look
I
like he's
think
going to
it's
go
going
anywhere.
to
So,
go somewhere. I think it's going to go somewhere. I think Otto Addo will qualify us for the AFCON, for the World Cup, and I think Otto Addo will be sacked.
hey,
Otto Addo is not taking us to the World Cup. Do you know why? Otto will qualify for the World Cup. The good thing is, and the reason Otto will be sacked is because he didn't qualify for the AFCON. And let me explain. The moment he qualifies for the World Cup in October, there is no competition for Ghana until June next year, the World Cup. That's enough time for a new coach to come and build systems that will take us to the World Cup. If Otto Addo had qualified for the World Cup, then the conversation would have been, oh, there's not enough time. We have AFCON coming, let him go. He didn't qualify. No, now there's no tournament. So there will be no need to wait whatsoever. And let me tell you, see what the ministry is doing. What the sports minister said on CTFM is straight out of the GFA's own playbook, where they start to publicly undermine the coach even before the coach is sacked. When Chris Hughton was in charge, we had ESCO members, Odro Safo, Randy Abe, including team manager Aminu Shado, go on radio and publicly undermine Chris Hughton with comments. In fact, Odro Safo said he was a bad coach. Randy Abe said they were not impressed. And what's his name? The former management committee chairman, George Amako, also went on radio. While Chris Hughton had the job, he was in charge. And the FA bastardized him because he wasn't their person. They didn't want him. They didn't like him. They managed to get rid of him. Now they've got their man. The man has come, failed to qualify for an AFCON. The World Cup qualifies. He might qualify for the World Cup, but the performances have been wishy-washy. No foundation has been built. The team is leaking goals by heart. His performances are poor. The team can't control games. There is nothing attractive about the Blackstars under Otto Addo. So Otto Addo, thank you very much. The first time Otto came, took us to the World Cup. He's taking us to another World Cup. We appreciate it. I'm not saying that he's not done a job. He's done an okay job.
Yeah.
But thank you. We are not going anywhere with Otto Addo.
All right, friends.
The team needs to evolve. We are not evolving. We are stagnant.
All right, Fen, just finally on the World Athletics, so we'll let you go. This has been enough brief. I mean,
yeah, Team Ghana is sent 8 athletes. They've been training. And we will compete in 5 events: the 100 meters, 200 meters, women's high jump, 800 meters, as well as the 4x100 meter relay. You can expect to catch the 100 meter competitors tomorrow, Saturday. Abdul Rashid Saminu, the national record holder, he's broken the national record twice this season already. We saw him at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He showed some signs that he can run with the big boys. When he came up against Akani Simbine, Omanyala, Kishan Thompson, he finished second in that particular race. So he's got great, enormous potential. You have Benjamin Azamati, obviously, the former national record holder in the event. This season, he's run a lot of races from the US to Europe, and he's going in there very sharp as well. Rose Yeboah finished second in the NCAA women's high jump. She's had a very good season as well. She jumped 9.93 meters this season. And I think that going to the World Championship, she was at Paris. She didn't make the final, so she'll be looking to make amends for sure. Alexa Mankwa is the most experienced member of this team. First made his World Championship debut in 2017. The last time he was at the World Championships was in Eugene 2022, where he made it out of the heat, only to later be disqualified for lane violation. And he got very emotional after, if you remember, an interview that I had with him. So he's also got a very big point to prove. Fusaini is the one that ran in the 200 meters. Ibrahim Husseini, the son of Augustine's boy. The problem with Husseini is that his school in the US is transitioning from D2 to D1. So when you're doing that, there is a bit of a gap. So he's not competed in the NCAA, so he's not run a lot this season. But don't be deceived. I think we saw him at the World Relays in Guangzhou earlier this year, and he showed that he is fit. He can run a really good anchor leg. So I think there's reason to be hopeful. The men's 4x100 meter relay team is where I think obviously a lot of Ghanaians have high hopes, but we'll have to wait until 20th of September to see the 4x100 meter relay team in action. Joseph Polamwa is still part of the team, him alongside Rashid Husseini and Azamati. I think that they can come up against some of the world's best and stand a chance. So there's reason to be hopeful about how these championships could go. The other thing that people need to note is that Japan is 9 hours ahead of Ghana. So some of the races, especially the morning sessions, you'd have to be staying up late or deep into early morning in order to catch the action. The evening sessions usually would have events happening in Ghana time around 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So that will have no problem. It's when there are morning sessions in Japan that they will be happening in Ghana around, let's say, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., around that time. So if you're a big athletics fan, you need to prepare yourself for those sort of late nights, early mornings as well, if you want to catch your favorite. In terms of the global competition itself, I think we all know what to expect. The 100-meter heats are on Saturday. The final is on Sunday. So by Sunday, we'll have a new 100-meter world champion. Noah Lyles is trying to defend his title. Kishan Thompson, after what happened at the Olympic Games, wants that title very badly. He wants revenge. He already beat him once this season at one Diamond League event. So but he wants to beat him where it really, really matters. But you can't also forget the Oblique Surveil as well, who has beaten Noah Lyles twice already this season. So it should be very, very exciting championships the next 9 days.
All right, Fan, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time for joining us. We're going to continue the conversation in studio here, but I just wanted to take this from our partners very briefly, then I'll come to Felix. He's been very patiently waiting for his turn. He's already given us a hint of where he stands. He seems to be on the same boat with Fent. Otto must go, but this time around, we've got to wait. Game plan. My name is Razak Musbah. I've got Maurice Quante here. I've got Felix here. Buftau is here. And Achu is also here. We'll be reading some of your messages very shortly. But just to point out that the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair Clinic is happening at the Crown Mall. So make sure you pass through there when you're done with work. Just pass there. Almost 3 p.m. You might have closed from work by now. Pass there and make sure you get to enjoy all the wonderful opportunities we have for you there to get your homes in order. So whether you're looking to finish your uncompleted buildings, whether your work is at the foundation level or lintel, even roofing, we've got all that you need to get them completed for you at the Journeys EcoBank Habitat Fair, which is again currently underway at a good park near Crown Mall. But let's just say a very big thank you to it is, what do you call it, powered by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and brought to you by Drive EVGH, drive into a sustainable future. Also by Virtual Security Africa, security for all, safety and home solutions. You think of door, we have it. Superlock Technologies Limited, you deserve the best. DPS Pipes, connecting you to life. Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. And Go Key Properties, transforming the landscape. Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app. Bako Services Bibre, and of course Special Gardens, Memorable Living, and DBS Industries Limited. We truly are your roof experts and door masters, the best in doors, and also Less Fortune Limited, unleashing luxury with perfection, one space at a time. We've also got landlordafrica.com, bringing the real estate industry to your doorstep, and the Builders Market, bathroom, get it right, and Right House Energy Limited, Host Energy Limited. Let's build smarter energy together. Masters in solar installation, and Syntex tank, a stronger, a tough, and Interplast will make sure water reaches you, even space. Yobent Security, doors protecting lives and properties. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investment, and Western Villas, where dream meet reality. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair 2025. Dream it, own it, and live it. It's underway at the Accra Mall, and it's going to go on until Sunday. So do go there and enjoy. And of course, the Asempa Walk with the Stars is also happening on Saturday tomorrow from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. They're converging here at the forecourt of Aduma FM and the Sempre FM area. Then they're going to walk all the way to the Accra Sports Stadium. So join it and make sure that you get to be part and meet all the stars with our tree brand there. And of course, it's been sponsored by Yuda App, Franco Trading Enterprise, Medima for Herbal Clinic, Angel Rock Mixture, Sinomi Instant Noodles, Zipman Capsules, Ready Vitamin C, Kivo Gari, Eba, phones and accessories, Lawson Herbal, Accra Newtown Islamic Hospital, Appointed Time Printing, Fit Live Mineral Drinking Water, and Cheese Tantier Maries are all supporting the event. So make sure you are there tomorrow morning. Okay, let me come to Felix now. Felix, yeah, let's hear.
I think the guys have said a lot, but I am very disappointed that.
But will it not be unfair? Otto Addo, he had a very challenging AFCON qualifying campaign. Yeah, we're going to go to GPL very soon, and because but just want to get his bites on this. I mean, disappointing AFCON qualifying campaign, was able to put the team together, got the best out of them, qualifies to the World Cup, and when they are done with the World Cup, you say, hey, Charlie, thank you very much, where you can go. That's quite harsh.
You see, you spoke about a lot of things. When you go to the World Cup, it's a different level. It's the biggest football event. The best players will be there. The best coaches will be there. This is a coach that I've been at the World Cup before, and I wasn't impressed. A lot of Ghanaians were not impressed. So it is not as if we haven't seen Otto Addo at the World Cup before. He's been there, and he added no value to the team. And that is the reason why I don't want to see him there again. You see, the Blackstars, and I just said it, when you talk about the A-listed teams on the African continent, we are one of them. I don't understand why a country like Ghana, or a country called Ghana, can budget over $1 million for a qualifier. That's how much we budgeted. In fact, the two qualifiers, that was over $2 million. Otto Addo is reportedly earning $50,000 a month. In a year, that would be $600,000. I'm sure with $100,000, we can get an A-listed coach, and that would be $1 million, right? In a year. 1.2 million in a year, right? Are we saying that we can't afford an A-listed coach for this crop of players and pay $1 million a year? My major problem is, the biggest thing we've had with the Blackstars has to be coaching. The appointment of coaches that have the current crop of players, I don't have anything wrong with them. They are good. We see what they do at their club level. Yes, maybe the kind of players they play with is different. The league, there's so much time to work with the coaches. But you see, when you come into a national team as a coach, one of the important areas you need to improve is your attack. In the national team, you need to score goals. Because if you defend, you might not win games. You might be getting 1 point. It might not help you in qualifiers. So you really need to ask your attackers what kind of delivery they want from your midfielders. And I've looked at successful coaches that have come into the national team, and they've done that. You look at when Asamoah and Matiama were top strikers for the Blackstars. When Muntari gets the ball, he knows what to do if it is Asamoah who is striking. Matiama won't want the ball flying because he can't even jump, head the ball to save his life. Same as Razak Bimpong. So the midfielders know the kind of delivery they will have to give to the attackers. Asamoah can receive any type of ball. So Wakas Mubarak gets a ball, long one, he will score a malaria goal. I mean, in reference to the goal against Algeria in the AFCON. Yeah. So our midfielders know the kind of services that our attackers, want. But you look at this current crop of players, Suleiman can run with the ball, Inaki in space, he won't even square the ball. It is coaching. It's a coaching problem, and even the kind of goals.
Adi has a problem with Iñaki.
You understand? And if you look at the kind of goals that we even concede, it is a coaching problem.
Okay.
And you see, it's lack of leadership. And you make reference to the captaincy issue. Nobody just goes ahead and give Kudus the captain when you have Jordan Ayew, when you have Juku in camp, and you have others, Thomas Partey and co in camp. There is nothing wrong if you want to give the captain's handband to Kudus. Probably you want to expect a lot from him in that particular game. But it is important that you consult the senior players in the team. And then they will tell you, oh, we are okay. Muftau can have the captain's handband. But even if they say yes to that request, read the room and be sure that, hey, is Morris really in agreement with me giving the captain's handband to Achu? If not, stick to your plan. He got it wrong. He had to fly to the UK to go and apologize to Jordan. And then things have been. And you see, that was one of the major reasons why we didn't qualify for the AFCON. And for me, a lot of things have shown that we have an inexperienced Otto Addo. He may be a better coach maybe some years to come. But for now, I don't think he can add value to the kind of players that we have.
The Ghana Premier League starts today at the Accra Sports Stadium. Hartlepool will be playing Hohoe United. The president is going to be at the stadium later tonight at 7 p.m. That game will be happening. It's a new season of the Ghana Premier League. Then on there are a few games that's going to happen also. You've got Heart of Lions playing Dreams. You've got Basaka Holy Stars and 11 Wonders in action. Vision FC and Samatex and Young Apostles and Mediama. Kareli United and Diana, Nations FC and Swedro All Blacks will also be playing. And we are looking forward to an exciting season of the Ghana Premier League. There's so much to look forward to. And just quick thought, and we've got a few minutes to wrap up. Felix, let me just start with you. New season of the Ghana Premier League. You followed very closely. Are you excited for this new season?
Yeah, excited. I don't really know, but I'm being hopeful that
your team is playing today.
Yeah.
So the excitement should be.
No, excitement. Truth be told, there hasn't been anything exciting about the Ghana League in the past 6-7 years. There hasn't been, but I'm hoping that the new kind of partnership that have been formed would bring out the best in the league. So I want to see quality production from the partners. I want to see quality football which will be played at very good and decent venues. I want to see highlights from our games. I want to see proper marketing and branding of the league.
Highlight from
games.
All the games.
Yes, because we live in a country where Yawano can score 22 goals in the season and we don't see the goals. Stephen Amankona have won 2 consecutive Premier League goal king titles. We haven't even goal kings. We haven't even seen all the goals. If you don't play for Hearts or Kotoko, it will be difficult for us to see your goals because the broadcast rights holders are always interested in Hearts Kotoko games. So clips will be available. But going forward, there are a lot of things that I want us to change about the league. And I want to believe that this season will be different. On my team, Hearts of Folk, in fact, we haven't won the last 4 opening games in the season, which is very bad. Last season, we lost the opening game against a newly promoted side in Holy Stars. The season before, we lost to Ediana Stars. Maybe, they are not Stars, they are United. So Hearts probably might get their win this evening.
That's a very good one.
Yeah, but I love, one thing I saw, I realized that the Joy Sports team, in fact, everybody has predicted Hearts of Folk to win the league. It looks like there's a lot of Hearts of Joy here. But I think that you can also fault them because Didi Dramani has come in.
Apart from me, I didn't choose you.
I don't think I know where your operation will go. But I think that Hearts of Folk, you can put them as one of the favorites, and I believe that they will do better than they did under Ouattara. Kotoko, it's going to be difficult. I still don't see how all 14-15 players that they've gotten will quickly gel together. Defending the league title, if you are not Real Republicans, you are not Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Hearts of Folk, it'll be difficult for you to defend. So I doubt if BBN Gold Stars can do that. But one thing that the Western guys are doing, the last 3 Premier League titles have gone to the western side of the country. And I'm sure those in Accra and Kumasi or the Bono part would want to opt that particular run. But then again, I think that for the newly promoted side, we have to be on the lookout for them, especially teams that are being promoted from the Zone 3 and the Zone 2 in the Division 1 league. If you look at Bibiani Gold Stars, they got promoted 3 seasons ago from Zone 3. They won the league. Samatex 2 seasons ago after promotion, they won the league. So the gap between the Division 1 league and the Premier League is getting narrowed. Last season, all 3 promoted sides, stayed. The season before, 2 of them got in. And trust me, the teams that have qualified to the league this season, Hohoe United, I expect them to stay because they are a community team. The people in Hohoe will support the team. They've bought quite some good players as well. They have some new Liberian chap as well. And then straight row All Blacks. I love to see traditional teams in the league. It will be one hell of a game for teams that will go to the straight row park to play them. And I think that their home invincibility should, allow them to stay in the league. So hopefully we'll have fair officiating. Hopefully the security protocol would be enhanced.
Yeah.
Just that I don't trust the FA, because if you quite remember last season when, for security reason and death of Poli, we had to halt the league. They came back with their own enhanced protocol, only for Nations FC to walk out of a game because of security reasons.
Let me bring Maurice Concern out.
But he mentioned something very interesting though, about getting highlights from all venues.
Yeah.
Have the FA paid their partners to do the recording? Because they engage independent people to go to the various match venues to record.
Mr. Philaman.
And since the end of
Mr. Philaman, they've promised.
No, but the TV rights has been given to.
No, you see, the thing is that it's not about the FA. There's not the TV right. Too. We all know the TV right, but the TV production company is not everywhere.
They won't be.
So the FA can engage a Musbao group of companies.
But maybe they've made arrangements to
for you. I said that they owe the people. They owe the people.
No, I mean the TV right.
We don't care. Get it. We don't care who you owe. Just get it. Show us the highlights. So they don't give you money. You go the place where you call it. Whatever
the TV right people,
they've
gotten.
They may not even need to pay everybody.
Okay.
Whatever arrangement you will come to, that will get the job done. Get it done.
But sometimes you should be worried about the fact that resources are invested into the thing. No?
Mufta, control the things you can control.
Let me bring him Maurice. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes, he says he doesn't know whether he should be excited or expectant. I don't know. Perhaps I should be expectant because excitement builds. So let's see whether it will be. But we're going to a new season. There's a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
For the first time, we're going to have the sitting president in going to watch the opening match.
Have we had that before?
I can't recollect in the last how many years. But it tells you the new energy and the new focus and strategic direction they're taking the league, new partners. It's going to be on free-to-air television. That makes it excited, broaden the audience reach and potential. I mean, for corporate partners, that should be good because we watch it. It was on SuperSport. It was later on Star Time, a restricted audience. But this is free to air, and then happily
free to air. It's on just 2 channels.
It's hopefully. I'm sure maybe by the time we get to the middle of they will expand it so that a lot more eyeballs. But I'm also happy that we are going to have local TV. Production team. We used to have OMP. It's not the first time, but we want to see world-class production highlights, so that particularly now that we are in the digital.
Morris, as for the world-class, they limit your expectations.
No, world-class is always.
Our infrastructure alone cannot.
I know, but at least we'll have better viewing experience. I was just telling somebody when you are watching some of the live. Coverage from Ghana, particularly in the evenings, watch the ones you watch from Europe, because at our stadium the illumination is not the lighting is not up to score. And it was one of the reasons why CAF flagged us. So when we talk about our stadiums not meeting compliance, it's not just the pitch. The pitch is just one of many issues they flag. But hopefully we are going to have an exciting league. I also follow my brother Felix, not just because of his hast, but I mean he follows the game, so sometimes
you are now Olympics.
Yes, Olympics is the best Ghanaian team, but we'll come to that, and today we are. You said the name is not Muftau. It's what
Miftau.
Let's say that if the name itself is not Hohoy, if you know, then a typical we'll call it Hohwe. That's the right pronunciation, but so it's just for education.
But Atu couldn't pronounce it well.
Oh, maybe if he did, probably
You wouldn't hear.
You wouldn't hear.
But you cry me my name. I always tell you it is Felix. And
It's Felix.
You keep calling me Felix.
I don't call it Felix. I'm the only person who calls it Felix.
I call him Felix. Anyway. So, but as he said, we want to see how the. I'm also excited at Ozioza. You know Ozioza. That's Swedro Black. Yes, they are in those community team. When you go and watch, you feel that sense of ownership, and it's also one of the reasons why. I mean, Summertex, apart from how they organize, when you go to the Centurion Sports Hub, you feel that community, that sense of ownership. And I believe you're going to witness it when you go to the Hohwe. When you go to Bibieni, it was one of the reasons. And let's encourage a lot more community ownership. That's where we are going to get that fanatical support. But there's a lot more cash injection, not so much, but it's still significant. And then hopefully we'll get the clubs also sitting up and then doing the right thing. Didi Dramani coming to Hearts of Folk, there's a lot of excitement and expectation among the Phobians. Let's see how. I've always held that same reason that Kotoko, one of the reasons Kotoko struggles, and go back, and it's not just today. Every season they have about 16, 17 new players. It's just like starting the team building all over again. It takes time for for players to settle. Yeah. And Kotoko also has a high attrition rate as far as their coaching. So it becomes difficult for them to build on the sustained growth of it's something they need to watch, else they've always assembled very fine players, but they need to have patience to allow them to settle. But every season that attrition, but let's see how it goes. But Hearts of Folk, let's see how they start against Hohwe, and then if we can get some consistency. But once Hearts and Kotoko are doing well, once it's very competitive, not more than 3-point difference, the league naturally gets excited.
Yeah.
So wherever Hearts Kotoko is going, especially when it's those 2-horse race or neck and neck, wherever Hearts goes, wherever Kotoko goes, there's full house, and then the league really hits up. It gets exciting. So I'm looking forward to an exciting season.
It appears I'm sitting in the middle of Hearts people. My boss just sent me a message. Chief Laro Paroto, he said rainbow is the color.
They should go to the stadium today. Right?
But actually, I'm actually excited about the fact that it appears there's this a certain level of energy from politicians surrounding the league, which should be a bit positive for us, because these are the key people who we really need their backing if we are to get people to invest in the game of football.
And just to add, and it's not accidental. Go back and check the NDC's manifesto, and in the build-up to the election, I can say, myself, Gary, and a few guys, Swag, we did a presentation. I led that with Charles Osesibe, Michael, TJ, and then Nat. And then the issue about investment in the league, so that we can keep some of our best players. And then, so we held a meeting, and Professor, chaired by Professor Alabi, and then the whole manifesto committee on sports, former sports minister Kwasi Danso. It was one area they said they were going to look at. So the things that are happening with Adisa Wacing, the chief of staff at their launch, the injection of money, the president, I don't think it's accidental. It's something the government, and when you listen to the minister and the
and I recall when SWAC asked members to put together ideas for people to go and do that.
So it's not accidental. It's something the government also wanted to do and see how we can use that to improve the game. So just to add to your observation of seeing government, high-ranking government official, it was strategic. It was part. It's a deliberate thing. The government they didn't make a lot of noise, but I mean, having that kind of engagement with that leadership in government, I mean, then opposition now in government, I know that it wasn't just accidental. It was something that strategic, well thought through, and then they are carrying it through. And I hope it's going to continue.
And I pray that clubs behave well. They're the key actors of the game, especially. I always say this. I think this part of our world, some of us are natural cheese. Even if you give them $1 billion, they will still budget some for referees just to influence their decisions. So I pray that clubs will behave well, the players will behave well. If you have the president seated there, if you have government of Ghana actually showing commitment to supporting the game in the country, the Ghana Football Association and its members must put their best foot forward and display the right attitude so that they can continue to be a part of it. Other than that, we'll just have them to be a 9-day wonder, and then everyone goes back to default settings.
Yeah. Actually, brief one, quick one, and we've got to wrap up.
Look, they should just give us a good show. Right. Unfortunately, even though we're about to see the most lucrative Premier League season in the history of this country, the most rewarding certainly for the clubs, but somehow no one at the FA or the clubs felt the need to go big on marketing the league. I don't understand it. People need to see that the league is about to start.
I mean, I was asking, when is the FA or somebody going to come to us and have a conversation about the league?
So we need to be deliberate about that aspect too.
You see, and it's very important. Have there ever been an engagement with media post or pre-season? Because at least it is important that you involve
some of us
media.
even travel more than FA members actually when it comes to coverage of the league.
Some of us even have more social media numbers than some of the Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
What kind of hashtag are we all agreeing to? You understand?
So it must be deliberate.
Yes.
The marketing has to be deliberate. It has.
It's not like far gone.
Yeah.
I know the FA people listen to this show a lot. This is not match day one.
Even for accreditation.
Next week,
we are still using accreditation card printed for us 6 years ago.
No, next week the FA can just send a communique.
2015.
Or the FA media team can just come out. This season, this is a hashtag we want to use. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Let's everyone go with it.
I think the clubs might also take some responsibility. Hearts of Oak, for instance, you've got a game today. Your first game, the start of the season.
We've done quite well with that.
I think I agree with you. The clubs themselves, because you see, there's a limit to what the FA must do.
Yeah.
But if I'm selling a product, it should be in my interest to market it as best as I can, because I'm the ultimate beneficiary of a good marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And even though you have a media house that has bought the rights, you need to be deliberate about expanding it to others. And also, this perception, and the clubs must also take this into consideration. Marketing your games is not limited to posting flyers on Facebook and Twitter. No. You should go beyond that. Anyway, we are done for today. Thank you very much, guys, for coming to the studio. Thank you very much for listening, all of you. Go watch the game 7 p.m. on the Craft Sports Stadium. This has been Game Plan. My name is Razak Musbah.